Okay, so today I was asked by Ascairo Romano, a perfectly legitimate question, why my version of España is so affectionate to his old colonies and all that. Well, many people actually don't do their research on this, pero Spain actually has a very good relationship with many of his old countries, Latin America especially, for mostly the reason because they all speak Spanish, which I suppose you could say doesn't really make sense, but it's not just the Spanish, but it's also the cultural aspects of it. And there are many other things involved with it, actually. Spain is actually involved in many of its old colonies to this day, especially in one I remember researching. Let me check again. What was it? Uh, la la la. Guinea, or Guinea, where it actually has a very large aid program, which I suppose you can relate to how France has to help many of its older colonies, such as Haiti, pero they're not really doing a very good job about that. But actually, it goes beyond that for my characterization of Spain, because although it says in his notes that he doesn't particularly care about his colonies, I cannot really see him doing that. Like, I mean, I can see him doing that when they're still young and he's like taking away their resources and all that stuff, because he doesn't really give anything back to them like he did with Romano, I suppose. Pero, see, I think that he kind of feels bad about that in the 21st century. Like, it'd be kind of like, ah ha ha, oh, right, that was a really awful father to you. And so he tries to make up for that in his own special way nowadays, which doesn't always work. And I actually roleplay with a few other ex-colonies, Cuba in particular. And so, like I've said before in one of my other things, like we have many jokes and things like that, where Spain tries to act like, oh, I was such a good father to you, ha 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 ha, and then all his colonies are like, ha 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 ha, no, you weren't. So, see, like, I don't know, it's just many people just don't really provide much of an interest for him in his old colonies, but I think that, like any country that had older colonies, like, they're going to eventually have some sort of, like, relationship with them. They're not going to be, like, completely indifferent to them. So I think that Spain would have more of an affectionate type of relationship with them after he gets past, like, the whole, like, oh, I don't really care about you, blah, 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 type stage of their thing. So, see. Adios.